All right, we're going to make a movie out of our final composition. We've set our render bar to encompass what we want to make into a movie. And importantly, we're going to click on the timeline down below. You'll notice this blue line that goes around the circumference of it with all these windows, matter of fact. But if we don't click on the one in the timeline, we can't go to composition. You'll see that add to render queue would be grayed out. So make sure you've clicked on that before we begin. I'm going to choose add to render queue. Now, this keeps a running history of the different renders I've done. So I'm just going to delete everyone else except the blue one that just came up, because this is where we're going to go and we're going to set our parameters for our movie. Now, the first thing you want to do is click directly on the blue text that you see to the right of output to. That's first. Don't jump to this term lossless. Click here first, and you'll be able to direct your movie to what folder you may want to save it to, name it, and then simply hit save. Next, I'm going to click on lossless. Now, lossless can seem kind of confusing at first, the menus that you get as a result, but the settings are pretty straightforward, and we keep the standards for the most part. We do want QuickTime. These are things you just want to check to make sure the previous user hasn't changed them on you. Then I'm going to come down to video output and format options. Now, this is where we decide how big this movie's got to be. All our projects are going to be for mobile devices and the web. So we're going to choose a straightforward standard video codec. So if I was to click on animation, I'm going to see down towards the bottom H.264. And you really can't miss with this compression codec. It's pretty much the standard today. Now, there are other options. If you wanted, you could change the quality. We're not going to do that. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click OK. Next, I'm going to make sure that the audio is on. And usually, by default, with After Effects CC, it is now on all the time. And you'll see you've got choices of stereo, 16, 8-bit, etc. 16-bit is desirable if you're using music. If you're doing a voiceover, you may decide on 8-bit. And that would do nothing more than make your file smaller in the end. Now, I don't have to change the format options on this. I'm going to leave it uncompressed. And one of the reasons I'm doing all this with basically the standard settings is because when we deploy our movies, whether it's on YouTube or Vimeo, each of these sites has their own compression formatting so that when you load a file onto, say, YouTube, it's going to compress it for you. So actually, we're making this smaller so that it will compress quicker when you do try to put it perhaps on the YouTube site. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just simply hit OK. Now, once you've done that, you'll notice that in the right-hand corner of that render queue, or queue, whatever you want to call it, there is the word render with a blue background. All I need to do now is simply click on render. A blue bar goes across the screen. It's going to ding when the movie is done, and now your movie has been compressed. All right, so that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward, and that concludes this tutorial. Have a good day.